Hi friends, welcome to the Tezos section of the show. Be sure to join me for the live stream. We're having a great time over there looking at the comments all the time. We've got lots of comments coming in from people all around the world, and such as this one. We've got a good bit of chat going on there with KDoc. We've also got other people coming along. XTZ is the Laggard of the alts. Well, there you have it. It's coming from the chat. If you don't like those comments floating around and you're in the Tezos community, then be sure to join in one of these live streams sometime so that people don't be saying stuff about your coins. Am I right? Well, let's just take a look at the charts really recently and point out a couple of things which are of note. For instance, we spoke about an area that was quite important in the recent past with regards to the price, and it was in the 450 area. And what we can see is that the price action has actually come up towards that today. We also spoke about another area towards the downside, that if we were to break below the 380s and go down that 370 area, not so great. But of course, the 387 area where we could find the prices going down as far as, and looking to find closure of the days, etc., above 396. And what we're at the minute is, of course, all of those numbers right here, right now. That's kind of what I was getting at. Really makes you wonder if anybody's listening or not, because we actually had this all identified out and have done the entire time. In fact, if Navanethan's out there watching the show right now, you can chip in there and have a laugh about it, because he knows the prices that this will go to all the time, and he never even trades it. It's kind of a bit of a funny thing. Anyway, you're missing out by not doing that. Wait. I'm not a financial advisor though, and nothing that I say is financial advice. So good to know that nobody's doing exactly what I've been saying, because if they had been, who knows how that would go with the rules. Anyway, what we're looking at is, can we actually manage to push on up and out of this zone? This is consolidation that we're seeing. We're seeing the prices dropping down the way. Of course, we've got the DMI screaming at us in the 24-hour time frame that we could get a retest. So what I want to see is that the strength of trend actually kicks back in again at a point whenever we actually are looking for a retest. Now, what I mean is that I would like to see us actually push beyond the 450 area up towards $5, just so that we can actually come all the way back down to 450 then thereafter, and hopefully even find that operating as some area of support for us, having had it be resistance in this time period, and hopefully see us moving up in a sort of ascending triangle type formation with a break which would even extend as far as something as crazy as all of that sort of distance towards the top side, taking you in as high as 550. Now that would be nice to see happen, but what we actually have to acknowledge is that we've got this drop down. Overall, I'm liking what I'm seeing in terms of like there being an increased amount of volume right here at this point. That's good to see. Can we then actually, get our teeth really stuck into this? Can we really pull some meat off the bone with this one and actually push on outside of this consolidation, whether that's the downside or the top side? Personally, I don't mind that much, because I'll trade this thing either way. But of course, what would be preferable to everybody would be that the prices actually did move towards the top side, and then of course, take out all these great targets up the way. Any guarantees in life? No, there aren't. If we do drop down the way from that zone, then there could be problems for us. Looking at this, it takes us down as far as $3.23. Be looking for a bounce perhaps at that 618 golden pocket zone, right in around about that 340, 350 zone, really, if we do push on down the way. Ouch, I know that stings, doesn't it? It certainly does when you're looking at it in terms of percentages, because of course a move down towards that zone is another sort of 15% off, depending on, of course, where you're measuring moving down from. Now, that is actually, maybe worth really hammering home then. If you think that that's such a big, horrible loss, then maybe you should pay closer attention perhaps to the 10% moves that you can have within ranges that are already defined anyway. And instead of looking to sort of play the breakouts, just kind of trade it until such times as the conditions that you're trading in change. Because actually, as a trader, what your job is to do is to buy and sell risk. And that is different to just buying and selling something and then buying and selling it at a better price. Now, if you buy and sell risk appropriately, then you'll probably find yourself doing the other thing more often than not, right? Whereas when you try and just buy low, sell high, then you often find yourself falling foul of having not really assessed the risk properly in those areas. Now, what we're looking at with Tezos is that it's had a bit of a malaise. It's the Laggard. Laggard of the crypto world? Sure it is. We've got this potential for volatility, and what I'm saying is that if we do break down the way, I'll expect a fairly rapid rise towards the top side thereafter. If we do break up the way, I'll expect a fairly rapid rise towards the downside at the meantime. But then again, expectations, who needs them in the world of trading? I certainly don't need expectations. I try to avoid them, and I also hate using the word prediction as well. Let's just hope that overall, in terms of the market structure of this thing, that from the broader point of view, the hidden bullish divergence that we had shown here in the MACD and the RSI, etc., does come in to pay off for us, eventually taking the prices up the way. Oh, I appreciate I should have made the charts bigger there, but whatever. Hopefully taking us up the way and maybe even leading into a bigger move overall. If we can see something like this really transpiring for us, then what we could see is a move towards the top side that actually comes in around about the $7 area. And it's still on. So times when that starts to look a lot less likely is if we actually push past that 350 zone. Until such times as we do anything like that, we're doing all right. 487 is good. We could dip our toes into that. 396 in terms of like donusy closures, consecutive ones, especially not below that. Towards the top side, numbers not actually all that hard. $4 where we find ourselves right now. Languishing, question mark, I don't know. 396 is actually where the price is. Oh God, the numbers, why is it not 397 or 394? No, it's going to be 396 because that we've talked about it, and it would be unlike Tezos to not do exactly the exact things that we're talking about at any given time. Anyway, looking towards the top side, 440, big region for us. 420, really, let's be honest, is going to be the next area to be aware of if you're actually looking to take profit. Why would you be thinking like that? Well, 5% is actually enough to be satisfied with for most sane people in the world. So yeah, and then the next target up the way is the next 5% move up. Beyond that, the risk for an additional 5% and an additional 5% thereafter is greater. In fact, actually, to be honest with you, if there's a risk, this is your first 5%. Great, groovy, easy. This is the next 5%. Great, groovy, easy. The next 5% here is the hard one. Then pushing past that, the next 5% up the way or more, absolutely, you can talk about that, another 10% perhaps then at that point. But there we have it. That's actually all the TA that you'd actually need to trade this thing, really, or at least put your brain into the right format. Things that you should look at yourself probably be, if you want to, you could look at the OBV, not that bothered myself. You could look at the MACD there, but the histogram, great. Find if there's any sort of divergences that you want to be aware of, etc. Or if we get, great pushing on, like breaking past previous structural areas and trend lines on these things. For instance, RSI, want to be breaking past any sort of trend lines on this one and moving out the way here in the same sense that we're essentially consolidating in that zone, etc. Plenty of stuff that you could do. So I'm sure, that you've got some capability of TA. If you don't and you're looking for better lessons in the world, then of course, you really ought to think about joining the Patreon channel. You'll find a link to it in the description down below the video. And of course, if you're in the Patreon, then I'm 50 times more likely to help you. And that's really kind of a funny thing to say because I've actually been helping people nonstop since the start of the channel anyway, I suppose. Let's just finish off the Tezos video section here with, I don't trade Tezos and don't plan to anytime soon, but I feel like I get value from the reputation of your TA in different situations. Well, that's great. That's fantastic. Thanks, dude, man. Now, actually, when I first read this in my head, I read repetition. That's whenever I got to reading it out loud, I had to go reputation because the repetition of the TA is actually really helpful as well, I think, probably. Now, yeah, great, fantastic, thanks so much. And then repetition, and it was what you meant to say. Ha, excellent. Yeah, I find that, right? Now, the reputation of the TA should be there for people to see when it comes to Tezos. I mean, we gone done some stuff with this one in the past. Right, that's cool. Can you give Vet a mention, please?